Hi there, this is Tamela with Connect Homeowners, and we are coming to you today to discuss one of the topics that might be on everyone's mind, unemployment, and what's happening with the economy now. How much unemployment do we have? So as we begin to start, let me cover a few of those housekeeping topics. One, the website is right here. The phone number is there so that you can reach us whenever you have any questions we might be able to answer. And no matter which media that you are following us on, please either like, share, subscribe, or comment, depending on where you're seeing the video. We would love to hear your feedback, as well as possibly answer any questions that you might have. So let's get right to it. I'm going to share my screen with you and go through a few slides to help discuss what is happening with this unemployment. I know it's one of the questions that's on many people's minds right now. So we definitely wanted to share with you as much information as we could and cover it as quickly as possible too. So the pain of unemployment, it will be deep, but not for long. So there's two crises in the country right now. We have a health crisis that has forced everyone into their homes, and we have a financial crisis that caused by our inability to move around as we normally would. There's over 20 million people in the US that became instantly unemployed when it was determined that the only way to defeat this horrific virus was to shut down businesses across the nation. 1 second, a person was gainfully employed, a switch was turned, and then the room went dark on their livelihood. The financial pain so many families are facing right now is deep. We've got some new numbers that are available, and they typically come out on Thursdays. So we wanted to be able to share those numbers with you. Here's from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the unemployment report. Now these numbers, when you add them up, this is where that 20 million approximately is coming from. So we'll be looking for new numbers on Thursday. We anticipate many of these jobs will come back. We had 3.34 million March the 21st, adding on another 6.9 million March the 28th, and 6.6 million April the 4th, and another 5.2 million on April the 11th. Now, as we said a few moments ago, we're anticipating that many of these jobs will come back, maybe not all at once, yet we do believe that they'll come back. Many of these numbers are restaurants, retail, nail salons, maybe your massage therapist, the doctor office staff, and even the dental office staff. So we're anticipating that those will continue to come back, and it may take a bit of time as they do. Moving on to our next slide. We have the breakdown of the job losses compared to the Great Recession. You know, you may have heard, as many people have, this discussion about, is this going to be like 2008? And is this going to be another recession? There may be a lot of talk about recession, and we do have another video that's quite long, and it's on another one of the social media locations that if you want to, you can send a message and we'll be happy to share that with you as well. And you can go over and watch the full story. It talks about how many people actually have equity in their home and some reasons why we're not anticipating that a recession is going to cause the housing market to crash. But that video is over there, and that's a long one, so we wanted to create a short one for you today. So let's look at this first column, 24.8 million, the jobs created since the Great Recession. That's from February the 1st, 2010 to February the 1st of 2020. And then our second column, the 22 million, that was the initial jobless claims over 4 weeks. That was approximately 22 million claims. And if you take a look at the third, that's the Great Recession total job losses. That was the peak all the way through at 8.7 million. Taking a look at our next slide. This is the 2020 unemployment rate forecast. Now, these are people that are way more intelligent than I am. So in doing some research, here's some information that we found. You know, Goldman Sachs says approximately 15%. And we have Merrill Lynch coming in at about 10.6%, JP Morgan at 8.5%, and Wells Fargo at 7.3%. Now, these numbers can change, which is why we're keeping such a close eye on the market. And if you found different numbers from a reputable source, please share them with me. And please remember, these are forecasts that we're anticipating for the unemployment rate. And now we get into more of the depth and the less length. So what we're referring to here is this V shape in the first column. Now let me go back to the other slide for just a moment, and really it encompasses this slide as well. As horrific as those numbers are, the ones that we looked at, there's some good news. The pain will be deep, but it won't last as long as it did in previous crises. Taking the direct projection from Goldman Sachs, we can see that 15% unemployment quickly drops to 6 to 8% as we head into the next year. And it continues to drop and then returns to about 4% in 2023. And again, for that full story, you can go over to our other, our full length story that we have available. That's a full video. But for right now, we're going to focus on this more depth and less length. If you notice that first V, that black at 15%, that's the COVID-19 projections. And then the brownish color line that's going across, that's the Great Recession from 2006 to 2016. And then the final one, the red, the Great Depression from 1929 to 1942, which was 12 years. These are the years for unemployment rate to return to its pre-crisis level. And when we compare the length of time that it took to get back to work during the Great Recession, which was 9 years long, and the Great Depression, which was 12 years long, we can see how the current timetable is much more favorable. Kind of like a tennis ball. If you were to throw a tennis ball down to the ground, that really quick V. And if you've worked with me before or we've talked about the recession, I've always talked about it being a roller coaster, right? Where it came down and then went across. So we had that really high spike during the recession that went straight up. Then we did that curve, and then we went almost straight back down, and then it took us years, that 9 years to come out. So it's much more devastating to think about the financial heartache that families are going through right now and how that is adding to the uncertainty surrounding their health as well. So we hopefully will soon have this virus contained, and then we'll slowly and safely return back to semi-normal, or what the new normal would be. So taking us back now, let's have a little bit more of a discussion about where you can go to find out some more of the information. Thanks for joining us today. And the plan is to do these on a weekly basis to share information with you in regard to what's happening in the market. We're also planning on doing some local market statistics as well to keep you abreast of what's happening in our local market. Hope you have a wonderful, safe, and healthy day, evening, whenever you might be watching this. And again, please share, like, subscribe, comment, and you do have our website right there to reach us.